Hey guys, welcome back. If it's your first time on the channel, my name is Ryan. I'm a full-time reseller on sites like eBay and Poshmark. But today's topic is my trip to Seattle for the 2026 Pokemon Regional Tournament in Seattle. For those of you following my channel, you know that I just got back from Seattle. I went with my friend Brandon and it was fun. We flew out on Thursday and the tournament started on Saturday. So we first flew Thursday morning. We had a layover in Denver for about an hour. Then we got into Seattle. First thing we did, we kind of planned this ahead, was we went and tried to look up a convenience store, I guess a store so we could get supplies. Because I wasn't going to take any kind of toiletry stuff. I wasn't going to take I guess I could have taken like a travel toothbrush, but I wasn't going to take any kind of liquids because I wasn't going to mess with TSA. I just didn't want any part of that. So as soon as we got there, I looked up for a Walmart. Apparently, there's not a Walmart in the city limits of Seattle. Did not know that. So we found a Target. From the airport to get to the Target, we took the, light transit, which was like this pretty fast transit that got us there. It cost us $3 to go across town, which from the airport to downtown. And hey, $3. It took a little bit, but man, honestly, I think it was faster than if we would have booked an Uber. Because at first I was gonna do an Uber and they were wanting $75. $3, $75. And I gotta say, the transit there was really clean. Like where I'm at, kind of city transportation is usually a lot of the time the homeless kind of trash it up, to be honest with you. And I did not take their city buses though in Seattle. That could have been similar because by city transit, we only have buses where I live. There actually, and there's nothing now as far as me. You have to take an Uber or Lyft or something like that, or a friend to come pick you up. So taking the transit, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. We rode it a few times because I think you get it for about an hour roughly. I could be wrong, but we rode it and it cost $3. You just tap your card and ding, and it says what time it's good till, and I guess you ride it till then. And in different stations, they had security, some didn't, and yeah, it was different experience because we don't have that around me. The only time I ever rode a transit kind of similar was when I went to Boston for something else. And I don't even know if their transit's that same way as it used to be. So as soon as we got there, we got to Target and got what we needed. And instead of Ubering, which I kind of regret, to the hotel, we walked. And it was a walk. Let's just say that. And I had a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper, and walking. Seattle is just full of hills. And I gotta say, all the sidewalks and streets for downtown, just for downtown, I'm not saying the rest of Seattle, they're horrible. I mean, not only is it uneven, but like the sidewalks are lifted up or big holes in it. The streets have chunks missing. There is cool parts of it that have like cobblestone, but with how the elevation is, it's like, man, your suspension on your vehicles must be horrible. I don't know. That's just kind of what my buddy says. He's more into cars. So I got to the hotel and there was this nice little welcoming, which I thought was really neat, from Hilton. I booked it in like 2 months in advance. So it only cost us like $100 a night, which was about half the price of what they were charging from that day, because we were looking at possibly booking a bonus day, and yeah, we're like, no, we're not. But I already had planned to fly back anyways on Sunday night, which that's a whole disaster that I'll get into. So after we put our stuff up, we started in the hotel, we pretty much just started looking around what we could do. The first thing we thought about doing was, what kind of food can we eat? And I gotta say, Seattle has so many options. It's unreal how many options they have. So we started kind of walking up away from the ocean because he wanted to go to the Pike Market, but we waited on that, which that's a really cool place. But we started walking up. I don't know what street it was, but we started walking up and it was just full of shops and everything. And we went to a card shop there and I can't remember the name of it. But while we were walking there, we passed by this vintage shop, Breakaway Vintage, which, man, like this was like every reseller's dream. I mean, they had racks and racks of just like Carhartt jackets, old vintage jerseys and jackets. They had a whole room just full of different shirts. And what kind of was crazy, like you would think some places they would put the shirts that are like $100 like behind them or something. No, they was just they're out and about. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that was pretty cool though, you know. And I was wearing my Patagonia chinchilla, and someone complimented it, which I thought was awesome. Like that was the first time I got a compliment on it. One thing I will say, like they still put flyers on light poles. I think they kind of stopped doing that where I live, which was kind of interesting. Here's a picture of one, like, I don't know if you could fit another, I mean, you could fit another flyer, but there was, it was just covered in it, which I thought was hilarious. And there's a lot of different organizations, you know, trying to get donations for their cause, but they're all about memberships. So like the WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation, they try to get us to sign up. And I was gonna just give them a donation, like here's $20, but like, oh no, I can't take cash. You can do it through the website. You could sign up for this whatever subscription and then cancel. I'm like, I'm not doing this, man. I was just willing to give you $20 and bye. Then later on, some other organization, I can't remember the name, for Ice for Children, which I'm not even gonna get into political stuff, but she came up to us and asked donation, and then once again it's a subscription. I'm like, I'm not doing a subscription. But my buddy, he just happened to have like, I don't know, $7 on him or something. He's like, you know what, here's how about I donate to you for lunch, which was really nice of him. But I'm just like, I don't know, I'm burnt out about everyone asking to round up and for donations for stuff. I don't know. It gets old. Every single place I go to now has some kind of roundup. I mean, of course, you know, I go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, and they ask for a roundup. I go to, you know, a grocery store, they ask for a roundup. Or during holidays, they ask for, like, you know, they're about to start asking for, like, you know, do you want to donate $1 for United Way to get a shamrock and write your name on it? I'm like, everyone's asking for something. I'm like, God, it drives me crazy. I don't know. That was just a little side topic. It drives me nuts. I don't know why, but it does. I get people are going for causes, but man, it gets old when every single person is asking you for money. So next thing we went to was a place called Phoenix. It was just your basic kind of comic shop, and I did pick up the Umbrella Academy trade paperback, which I've been wanting to read it anyways. I do like comics. I originally started even reselling by doing comics, so I still have a passion for getting rare comics, like first editions or first appearances kind of thing, or I like getting the trade paperbacks to read, you know, a collection of, you know, 5, 6 comics. I don't want to just buy one comic, read it, and honestly, I'm going to forget about it. I like getting the trade paperbacks. That's just me. And my buddy, he bought like a local comic. I didn't even see it, but he bought like a local comic book, which I love doing that, support local and just to kind of see how their writing style is. Right next door to it, we went to this place called Dick's Drive-In, which I don't think it really was a drive-in, but man, so they don't do like modifications. Like they have what their prices were, and or not prices, but what their different menus. So if you want a burger plain, you order the cheeseburger plain. If you want, no onions, get the one with no onions. So you can only order what's on the menu, which is cool because they do have different options, but you can't modify it. But they were really fast. Like as soon as you order, like it was, here you go. And I will say, it was a burger. It wasn't, nothing to really write home about, but apparently we're writing to YouTube about it. But it was okay. And there was like a girl on a drum set, kind of, matching a beat right outside. So it was kind of cool to have some live entertainment and, while we eat. And it just happened to be right next to that Phoenix shop. What kind of blew my mind, which might not to some people, but here it blows my mind. They tax on sugary drinks apparently in Seattle, or at least this is what the sign said. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently they tax on sugary drinks, which would be awful for me. I drink so much sugary drinks, but I don't think the tax was that much. So, but still, once again, it's kind of like everyone's trying to get that money from you. The walk back was pretty beautiful. We passed over the overpass, or we were on top of the overpass, and walking back to our hotel and just, seeing all the lights and everything was really cool. Because, we kind of have something like that, but not really where I live. So it was kind of neat to see. And especially Seattle is so walkable. Like, people where I live, if it's even half a mile away, they're just driving. And these people will walk a mile, 2 miles. I think my buddy, he kept a watch of how many miles, and apparently we walked 33 miles in the time we were there, which I don't know. I was used to it. I think the inclines kind of got to me some of the times, but you could tell he was wearing down. The next morning, my buddy kept talking about this soon, like that night. He wanted to go to Ludi's, I might be pronouncing it wrong, restaurant. He wanted these purple pancakes. He was so excited for these purple pancakes. So we started walking to this place, and these people came up to us and said, "Hey, we're not from here. Do you know a good place to get breakfast?" And both of us are like, "We're not from here either, but we're on our way to get breakfast, and you want to join us?" And then there was these two older guys, probably in their early 50s, I would say, or mid 50s, somewhere around there. And I noticed while we were walking, they had Nebraska hats on, and I asked them, like, "Oh, you guys from Nebraska?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're from Nebraska." And we just, like, the whole way we just started chatting about Nebraska and like, "Oh, we're from Oklahoma," and telling them they were kind of comparing to OU, but I went to OSU, so I know more about OSU, but I know a little bit about OU too. I know about a little bit. But then we started talking about just from football to basketball to wrestling. And then one of the other guys asked my buddy Brandon, like, "You're not much of a sports fan, are you?" And he's like, "I'll play it, but I don't really know him," which that's just him. And he's like, "What about music?" And then those two just started going on it about music. So we got to Luddies, and we got seated, and they just happened to get seated next to us, which is pretty funny. And we ate our pancakes. My buddy got his purple pancakes, and I just got a plain pancake. But I will say they were delicious, but kind of pricey. And what was crazy is the next day we happened to be walking by it, and this line probably had about 20 people in it. I was like, dang, that's crazy. like, because we were able to pretty much just walk right in, and you order before you're seated. So I guess they start working on your food. So as soon as you're seated, you can start eating. So after we ate breakfast, we were pretty close to the water. So we're like, all right, let's go ahead and check out the Pike's Market, because he really wanted to go check it out. Never even heard about it, but we went, checked it out. Some of the vendors were just setting up. Like I said, we just had breakfast. And we were walking through. We found a couple of different people, and we bought some things. He bought like a picture of Beavis and Butthead, and I think he got a shirt from somebody. And we just started walking, looking at all the art. I didn't really get a bunch of pictures of it because I was just kind of taking it in, I guess. And we stopped and talked to one of the locals selling art, and apparently the artwork wasn't even his, it was his buddy's, but he sells it for him, which that was pretty cool. And he sets up there pretty much every day, and that's his job. And I was like, dang. I was like, oh man, that's cool. That's crazy. And the artwork was it was really cool because I love, like, there was black and white, and then it's got like a pop of one thing that's red or one thing that's a color that makes it pop. And it was just really, it was all digital art, but it was really interesting. So then kind of right behind it, you can go and just look at the water, which I did, and you can kind of just see throughout. Apparently they call that area the Sound in Seattle. I don't know why, and when I asked one of the locals, they weren't sure either. All I really heard were a bunch of seagulls, which my buddy made fun of me at the hotel because I looked out the window and I was like, oh look, it's a white pigeon. And then he's like, what? And he looked, and I was like, never mind, that's a seagull. But like the whole time we were there, he just made fun of me. So every time he's seen a seagull, he's like, look at that white pigeon. So now apparently seagulls are white pigeons to me. There were pigeons there in Seattle, but the ones outside our hotel, they were seagulls. They just didn't look like it. They weren't all white. They were, I don't know. I thought it was a pigeon at first, but he made fun of me the whole trip there. So after we got done looking around at Pike's Market, it was about check-in time. We got there about 40 minutes early than what we were supposed to check in for get all our wristbands and things like that. And also you can go ahead and look at the shop and everything else, and also get some swag for entering in the tournament. And when we got there, we barely waited 10 minutes, and then the line started moving. They let us in 30 minutes early to start getting our wristbands, which was really cool. I didn't know what to expect for my first time. So if anyone's watching this and they're going to a Pokemon tournament, remember to get there early. So they let us in 30 minutes early, and then we're like, all right, we're gonna have to probably wait to actually go into the shopping area. And sure enough, they opened up early too. So we got into the shopping area, did a little shopping, and what was cool about the vendors, they had expensive like cards, but they were mainly focused on like playable cards that are going to be played in decks in this tournament. So I thought that was really neat because they were all like reasonably priced, and I ended up picking up a few because I needed some because I wanted to alter my deck a little bit. So that was really interesting. I think my favorite part was this area had a bunch of plushes, but the plushes had like magnets built into the plush and also like a plate at the bottom. I didn't get one, but you could like put it, the base under your shirt or under your hat bill, and then put the Pokemon on top. So a bunch of people had like Pokemon sitting on their shoulders or their hats. I didn't get one of those. I kind of wish I did, but I went to another vendor and I found my favorite Pokemon, which my favorite Pokemon is Chandelure. So I got this little Chandelure Pokemon, and Chandelure is my favorite just because of in the Pokemon Sword and Shield games, the Ghost Fire type was just it was really helpful. But what's crazy, these were all Japan Pokemon Center exclusives, which they probably paid like $15-$20. But there's only limited runs. I paid $29 for this little plush, but it's my favorite Pokemon, and I don't have a plush of my favorite Pokemon. So I was pretty excited about that. It did have the pre-evolution forms, but I just got this one. They did have the magnet one of Litwick, which I almost got just so I could have a Litwick on my shoulder. So let me know what your favorite Pokemon is. I would love to hear that. So after we checked that out, we found another area, and it was all of our like things you get for signing up and being part of this tournament. And one of the things we were both excited for was the playmat and the card. And I'm pretty sure that's all they really give you. So the card was Dawn, but what's cool about this card is you have the Pokemon regional stamp there. And there's only so many of these cards made. Me and my buddy were both gonna end up sending these into PSA just to keep. These are our very first regional tournament cards, so they're special to us. I know other people will sell theirs, but I plan on keeping mine. The next thing is the playing mat you play on, just easier to pick up your cards and things like that. And this was this event's. It's Mega Gengar, which I thought was super cool. If you know anything about Pokemon, Gengar is definitely a lot of people's favorites. Obviously, I like ghost type Pokemon, so it was very fitting to me. I don't play a Mega Gengar deck, but I know some people that do. But I thought, man, this is awesome. So I got this in my Litwick. Not my Litwick, my Chandelure. So we left there and headed right back to the hotel. After we got back to the hotel, it was time for lunch. We went and we were filling sandwiches. We went to this NYC sandwich place. It was pretty good. Just what's cool is like a lot of these restaurants are just like hole in walls. Like they're not bigger than really my living room. Like they're tiny places. And we ate there, and we wanted to hit up a card shop. So we got picked up by an Uber, went across town in this, and went to this card shop. It was okay. There was nothing really there, but apparently they were doing a Pokemon challenge. We didn't really stay for it, but they had this big inflatable Rayquaza Pokemon in there, so that was really cool to see. After that, after that we ended up walking some more, and I went to the Lumen Field and T-Mobile Stadium. So some of their Seattle sports teams, I'm a sports fan, so seeing stadiums in different states is really neat to me. After that, I talked to my buddy into going to the Goodwill bins with me. He's not a reseller. So we went to the Goodwill bins, and they weren't allowing backpacks, and my buddy was wearing a backpack just in case he found some at the card shop. So he didn't want to leave it with the attendant outside where the bins are. So he stayed with that, and I went in. I only went for like 10 minutes. Man, this thing was huge compared to the ones in Tulsa. I will say huge. I went in there for 10 minutes, found a Taylor Stitch Henley. I found an Unreal Minnesota Vikings hoodie, and what was the other thing? Oh, a Washington Huskies Nike on-field lightweight jacket. So $6. Like, oh man, that great deal. Oh yeah, and apparently you have to pay for bags in Seattle. I know that's pretty common, like California and places like that. We don't charge for them here in Oklahoma, but I do know they do in other places. Then we went to another pier that had the Ferris wheel, checked out a few shops. Didn't really find anything. Did find this like Yeti. It was like blocked off, but I put my phone over and kind of recorded it. I thought that you could just see the animatronic, going. It was entertaining. It was kind of cool. And I looked at the prices for the Ferris wheel, and gosh, it was expensive. So we didn't do that. But then we returned to the Pike Market, and we ended up walking through, seeing the shops that were closed previously. We did end up finding a caricature that made a caricature. Well, at first he was writing doing someone else's, and I was like, man, you want to do it? I've never had one done. He's like, yeah, why not? So I was just gonna do the two people, and I decided, you know what? Let's do the theme. We're here for Pokemon. Let's see if he'll do it for Pokemon. And sure enough, this guy made the best caricature for Pokemon I've ever seen. And here's a picture. If you know anything about Pokemon, he put me and Jesse's skirt and like crop top, and then added our favorite Pokemon. Chandeler's mine, Nidoking's his. Oh my gosh! I mean, my eyes were watering up because I was laughing so hard. This guy did such an amazing job on this. That, I mean, it was so great. I loved every second of it. So great. And yeah, we went back the next day, but he wasn't there. I was like, oh man, I wanted another one because it was just so good. So when we were right as we were leaving, we hit the exit. The fire alarm went off, and they had to evacuate the whole Pike Market, which is crazy. But while we were evacuating, we found the gum wall. Apparently, there's a wall just full of gum that's known for it, and just people put gum on the wall. So gum wall, Seattle, Pike Market. Who would have known? After that, we pretty much went back to the hotel, got a pizza from a pizza mart, and it was okay. Nothing crazy, just pizza, you know. I only got a picture of the sign of the place in the daytime because I wanted to remember the name of it. And then the next day, I ended up having, no, it was that night, I believe. I had Johnny O's burgers, I think. Something like that. Double O's burger, which my buddy passed out sleeping, and I went and got a burger. While walking to a local 7-Eleven, because we ended up wanting something to drink, found a needle on the ground. I guess free noodles. That's kind of interesting, I guess. We went back to the Pike Market again, and my buddy found the little Zoltar. He was excited for it, and it gave him his fortune. Yeah. But he's like, I don't even know what it means. But yeah. So the day of the tournament, though, this is kind of what I wanted to really dive into is the day of the tournament. I went 2-5-1. I actually won a match. It is a best of 3, and you play 8 different people. So of the best of 3. So I was so proud of myself. So I was 2-5-1, and overall I won 7 games, lost 11, and 1 tie. So obviously I didn't go to day 2, but I was so proud of myself. And talking to all the different opponents, everyone was just so nice. There was one person, I won't point out which one, but everyone was so nice and helpful and just happy to be there. So it was such a cool experience, and I can't really wait to do it again. I mean, I will say it is a gauntlet. We started at 8:30 a.m., so we had to be there the first match started at 8:30 a.m. And I did not get back to our hotel till 6:30, which our hotel is not far at all. It's like a 7-minute walk. So it was a gauntlet to go through it, and there's no breaks. It's either you finish your set of 3 early, or you jump right into the next one. And I know around lunch, I lost, but I mean, he won, I won, and the third one, I was just like, I don't even care, man. I just want to go eat. I'm so hungry. So as soon as we were done, I mean, I bolted to their little cafe they had in there, which everything's expensive, of course, because it's a venue. But I ate. There were so many people there. It was really cool. I think there was 3,000 contestants just for the Masters TCG, I believe. And then there was all different categories for Pokemon Go or things like that. which was crazy. The next day, which is Sunday, I pretty much just relaxed. I relaxed at our hotel most of the day, and we went and got, we didn't even eat breakfast, I don't think, that day. We went and got lunch at the Pike Market again. We found this little like fish and chips place, got some fish and chips, they were good. I mean, it was right there by the ocean, but they were good fish and chips. I don't know. I was thinking like some big fish, but it was like almost like nuggets size piece of fish, and they gave you like 5, and it was cod, and you could taste it was cod, but it was just like so much breading. Fries were okay. I did put my buddy's a comedian, a local comedian, but he's been traveling around with what is it, Copenhagen Bandit, and his name's Roscoe, and I put his sign or his little sticker I got from him up there in Seattle, and I had to text him like, hey man, I put it on there. So if you like comedy, his name's Roscoe, check him out. I will say he is kind of a dirty humor, but definitely check him out. Or if you don't know who Copenhagen Bandit is, you can check him out as well. So we got in eating, we kind of just walked around the Pike Market. Again, didn't really see anything. I also looked for the caricature guy again. He wasn't there. We went back to the hotel, relaxed, because I was flying out that night. I went ahead, both of us just took a nap. I mean, yeah, we both took a nap, and then when we got up, we went back to the Pike Market again, because it just seems like a popular place, and we looked for dinner. He ended up getting sushi, and I actually ended up leaving him and going to Little Woody's for a burger and chocolate shake. I don't know why, but I was in the mood for a chocolate shake. So got a chocolate shake, and burger, once again, okay. It was okay. Chocolate shake, though, I will say Little Woody's in Seattle, chocolate shakes, amazing. So great. I mean, it was like a Dutch chocolate shake. Oh, so delicious. Then we went back to the hotel. I made sure all my stuff was packed, and then I headed back to the airport myself. So this is where it gets kind of crazy, I guess. So I get to I was supposed to fly out at 12:10. Well, I got a notification. My flight got delayed till 1:10. I was like, okay, great. So I'm like, should I still leave? I don't really know. I haven't ever really dealt with a delay in an airline. Well, sure enough, they suggest you still get there by your original time, so I still get there. Then it gets delayed another hour, so my flight gets delayed 2 hours. Then when they finally arrive, fire truck comes, ambulance comes, someone has to get gurneyed out. I don't know what happened. So that happens, and then I get a notification like, oh, you're gonna miss your connection flight, because I'm supposed to have a connection flight in Dallas. I'm like, great. So now I get pushed back another hour for a different flight. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I didn't get home until 3 hours after I was supposed to be back. And then when I got home, I don't know what it is. I got like jet lag or something, or fatigue. But every time I was like getting really lightheaded. Like anytime I bent over, I was like, whoa, whoa. So I did not feel good at all from that, or when I flew back, which I do usually fine with flying. So I don't know. But I got back home on Monday, and I pretty much slept. Pretty much. And Tuesday, rock and roll again. Rock and roll. So that's how my Seattle trip went. If you made it this far in the video, I do really appreciate you. It means a lot to me, and please give it a thumbs up. Comment below what's your favorite Pokemon, and if you've been to Seattle, what are some places maybe I miss? I know there's a Space Needle, but it just doesn't really interest me too much. That's just, I mean, we've seen it and from afar, and I'm good with that. So you can check that off my list. But if you want to catch more content like this, please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.